Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now tuned in to Paging Dr. Chanda, and I am your host, licensed clinical psychologist, Dr. Chanda Reynolds, your favorite psychologist and the culture psychologist is what y'all call me on social media. Listen, y'all know how we do here. We take psychology out of the textbooks and into your real life. And today, we're talking about it. Y'all know what time it is. It is June, which means it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're keeping it real, raw, and rooted in truth. Let's talk about it, y'all. So the state of men's mental health, particularly Black men, is not where it should be. We're seeing our brothers struggle silently, from pressure to provide, to unhealed childhood trauma, to a society that teaches them that early on that their tears are a threat and their vulnerability means that they're weak. And then when they log on to social media, and instead of the healing conversations that we should be having, we're hit with podcast hosts peddling misogyny for clickbaits, passport bros acting like relocating can outturn their emotional baggage. We've got gender wars taking up the space that could be used for real healing, connection, and real life conversations. We're not here for clickbait, y'all. We're here to tell the truth and to hold space. So in honor of this month, we're revisiting some of the realest, most impactful conversations we've had on this show, where Black men showed up, spoke about their truth, and reminded us what healing looks like in real time. Let the countdown begin.
I am paging Dr. Chanda.
I am the Dr.
And I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
Got the doctor in front of your name.
So let the countdown begin. Number 4, when Conscious Lee came through the studio, he was breaking generational cycles. He came on the show and gave language to the pain that many brothers carry but don't always articulate. He broke down masculinity, politics, and healing from systems that were never designed to protect us. If you haven't seen it yet, watch this clip here.
I think that white supremacy is very structural to America.
Yeah.
And the way that Black people are seen, typically, I feel like we're fungible objects that make it where whatever mainstream America want to use our pain, our suffering, our culture, our credentials to forward the empire that is good. But in any instance, those things I just named becomes a threat. I feel like that's when you start to see, I'm gonna say, the trivializing of the Black position, the trivializing of the things that we do. I know a lot of people like to point out that when we talk about DEI, consciously Black people ain't even the main beneficiaries. To me, it's like, yeah, let's keep that in mind and recognize how it don't matter. Let's think about how the sensationalizing of Black progression is what's causing the backlash. They don't care that white women or these women or that or veterans or this. Is like, it's thinking about the way in which messages are pushed through and how anti-Blackness makes it where it almost forces an emotional response. Like, we're not gonna call it affordable care. We're gonna call it Obamacare. We're not gonna call it DEI. We're gonna call it wokeness or reverse racism. We're not gonna call it reciprocal race theory. We're gonna call it making white kids feel bad. It's like, that is the reconfiguration all the time. And that's something we gotta be mindful of.
Amazing words from the wordsmith himself, Conscious Lee. Now, number 3, y'all, Anthony O'Neill came through and talked about money, manhood, and mental health. He got real vulnerable with me about finances and the mental weight that comes with being the provider. It wasn't about flexing, but more so about freedom, financial freedom, emotional freedom, and what it means to build a legacy without burning out. Check this clip out.
You see, where there is no vision, that's where people perish. So I need you to pause this year if you're feeling overwhelmed. I need you to pause this week if you're feeling like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my finances, and get you a sheet of paper. I got a pen and I have this on my desk every single day. And I'm not just talking about it, I'm actually about it. I can open this up, sis, and you just have sheets of paper, me just writing down thoughts and writing down visions and writing down goals. What is it that God wants for me? And so when it comes to that, write down the vision, and I need you to make it plain. I need you to make it plain. And inside of that vision, I need you to write down your why. Why are you doing the things that you're writing down? Well, why is it that you want the house that you say that you want? Why do you want the financial freedom? Why do you want that pay raise? Why do you want whatever you're going to put on a piece of paper. One of my good friends and mentors, Dr. Darius Daniel, says that if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will make you cry. If you want to build that business, if you want to get that job promotion, if you want to be a better father, if you want to be a better mother, if you want to be a better friend, if you want to be a better husband, a better wife, if you want to do the things that you want to do, I need you to go deep this week. And I need you to write down the vision and write down the why. And if your why doesn't get you emotional, then the commitment for the next 11 months that we have left in this year is going to make you emotional. But the other piece of it when it comes to our finances is we got to make sure that our vision is in alignment with our money goals, which means you got to have a budget. So you got to have a vision for your life, number one, a vision for your money, number two. You got to list all your income minus all your expenses. Yes, I'm talking about hairdos, makeup, apps, dating, you name it. I need you to write down all your expenses and make sure that it's zero on a sheet of paper every single month. Then number three, man, this is a year that I believe that if you can say no to yourself, financial freedom will come. What do I mean by this? A lot of people are stressed financially because they refuse to give themselves 12 to 18 months to change their financial life and financial future because the last 12 to 18 years of being uncomfortable has become the norm. So now what's becoming normal is okay moving forward. Living paycheck to paycheck has become normal. Looking good on the outside but being broke on the inside has become normal. Having and driving a nice car, but wondering how you're going to pay this bill has become normal. But if you want to become extraordinary, you're going to have to do some extraordinary things. And you're going to have to spend the next 12 to 18 months, get on a solid plan. Live below your means. Tell yourself no. And I promise you.
Wise words from Anthony O'Neill. Make sure y'all go check out his book. I promise you it'll change your life. Number two, y'all, Amarion came through and talked about choosing peace over performance. This one hit very different because he pulled back the curtain on fame, fatherhood, and choosing peace even when the world wants you to react a certain way. It was a soft reset for a lot of us watching, including myself. Make sure y'all go ahead and watch this one.
When did you realize you had a choice?
Whew, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. Through all of my experiences, I realized the importance of, choosing and the power of it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the times when we're going through things, we want to react. And, I always say this, in my interviews, reacting, seldom serves us. Doing things off the fly, don't get me wrong, we all have to adapt.
Yeah.
But reacting, it doesn't do much for us, but when we're able to sit back, we're able to be thoughtful about how we respond. And I'm glad that you used that word, respond, because a lot of us are in that fight or flight position, through our trauma. We're reacting to things.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything for us. I'm telling you, it doesn't do. And also there's another part to that, people get monetary gain from reacting. When you're thoughtful, you get kind of this more lengthier, perspective and choice to choose to be like, well, wait a minute, I might want to end up here. If I do this, I won't get an opportunity to end up here. So let me be thoughtful in my response.
Yeah.
And what really helped me cultivate that was being in intense situations where, I felt like things weren't in my favor. And I had to, swallow some big pills and realize that this is just, a moment that will pass. So just realizing in my decision making that I had to take a step back and, be thoughtful, really helped me understand the power of choosing joy. And writing this book was truly an experience. It forced me to do a lot of dense work and ask myself the tough questions in order to place this information forth authentically. Because a lot of the times, especially in my experience and now gaining more of a spiritual perspective and having spiritual OGs, drop a little nugget on me.
So
it's the
important.
experience that you go through. You got to go through that first, in order for you to say, you know what, okay, let me make dollars and cents of this. Tupac has a famous thing. He says that you can get paid off your pain, you know what I mean? But you can't get paid off your pain if you don't reflect and actually go through the process of healing yourself.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So
You preaching.
I went through that process and I was able to pull those gems and, say, oh, okay, this worked for me. This might work for someone else.
Yeah.
So I did the work and then I arrived to being unbothered. Shout out to all my fans that dubbed me Mr. Unbothered. But sometimes you got to sit still and you just got to realize what people are trying to do, especially in interviews. And I always love to sit down, with women and intellectuals and people that are, thought leaders like yourself, because, it inspires a different process.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize and recognize that they have other lanes, to choose. You don't have to always be in the vengeful lanes. I want revenge, that only produces, monetary gain.
Mm-hmm.
And, we in this for the long haul. We playing the long game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for, having a platform where, people can express their experience and let people know that can hear there's other ways.
Y'all, Mr. Choose Joy himself came through and dropped so many gems. But y'all know we had to get to number one, Ricky Smiley. And this is probably the only episode where the guest actually made me cry. He talked about grief, God, and getting through. Ricky's story about losing his son and still finding a way to show up for his community was nothing short of sacred. That episode wasn't just a podcast, it was ministry. Go ahead and check this out.
We got to tell Black men that it's okay to sit down and cry.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I sit down and cry, I can see the cries still in the walls.
Yeah.
I have a certain spot that I sit in my house when I want to cry. And it's like releasing the cap off of a pressure cooker. Because it just releases it. Like you have to release that. You can't let it build up because, it'll make you sick. And then we got to promote people going to therapy. There's a stigma in the Black community that you just turn it over. God created therapists for us, right? When you roll your ankle, you don't pull out a Bible. You get up and go and hop to the doctor. Exactly. And the brain is a muscle just like your ankle. And why can't we figure out how to go and get help for our mind? Somebody like yourself that's professionally trained to help us process those feelings, because you can go into a deep state of depression and then you start, your brain start to affect other organs in your body. A lot of people don't survive grief. A lot of people die themselves after they lose a loved one. So we have to be real careful. I'm definitely been promoting people to go to therapy and get the help that they need. And a lot of therapists been showing up to some of my book signings, and I've been having them volunteer and take on some of the tasks because I'm unable to keep in touch with every single person that I meet that have lost a child. Just making sure that they have resources, as they read the book and open up and have somebody that they could make an appointment with and just do what they need to do. But it's some sad stuff out here, and we just don't hear about it. You would not believe how many people have lost their kids that's in all these different cities. And I've been on a major book tour, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, grief is definitely very complex. And even thinking about your story and how you felt it was important to write this book, to grieve out loud, and not just do that, but to do it from a faith-based angle, like showing people like, look, I have a foundation of faith, and this is also helping me to get through the grieving process. Why was that important for you to incorporate that into the book?
Oh, it's important because people must understand when you don't have nobody else to lean on. And as a matter of fact, when you lose your grandmother, you might lean on God, but when you lose a child, God is actually carrying you.
Yes.
It ain't no way
Yes.
on this earth that you can lean on nothing. When somebody that used to suck their thumb sleeping up on the other side of the bed with you on the nights it was thundering and lightning, you see their body laying on a slab in a morgue.
Mhm.
Ain't no way. But God,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like totally carrying you. Like I asked God, like, God, if you just let me make it from the front door to the elevator in that apartment building in Dallas, I think I can gather enough strength to go from there. And I had to keep working because my son died on a Sunday. That Wednesday, I was back on the radio because I don't want to lay in bed and just think about all this stuff. And I started thinking
Yeah.
about all the other people that have lost kids that depend on our morning show to get through. And I knew that they was concerned. I wanted them to hear me laugh. I wanted them to hear that I was okay or going to be okay. I cried when I wanted to cry. You know, I would cry during commercial break. I would do a gospel segment and just lay on the floor and just cry and get back up and read the commercial with tears. I would perform with tears coming down my eyes because my job is a comic. I'm still a comic. The bills don't stop coming just because somebody died. You know, you got to keep working. You got to keep moving. You got to keep doing what you're doing. But I thank God that I had sense enough to go and get help because I was getting therapy twice a week. It was that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That was nobody but God then. Nobody
Mhm.
but God. Thanks, y'all, for watching The Countdown. Let this be a reminder that men are not projects to fix. They are people to love, to listen to, and to protect. And our brothers, whether they're barbers, bishops, or bus drivers, deserve safe spaces to say, I'm not okay, without shame. So this month, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and every month, we commit to being a part of the solution and not the spectacle. Let's stop debating over men, high value versus low value, and overemphasizing statistics like six-figure salaries, being over 6 feet tall and having a six-pack, and start valuing men for who they are. Check on your people, hug your father, text your brother, and if you're a man listening to this, you're not alone. You never were. I'm Dr. Chanda, and this has been another episode of Paging Dr. Chanda. Don't forget to rate, review, and send this to a brother who needs to hear it. See y'all next week. God bless.
I am paging Dr. Chanda.
I am the doctor.
And I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
The doctor in front of your name.